Hey everyone, Ace of Clay here. Welcome back to my channel and welcome to another sculpting video. This one's very special because I'm joined by my good friend, Count Orlok, and I'm pretty excited about this. This is actually my first ever in-person collaboration. So, thanks for joining me, Count Orlok. But in all seriousness, this is actually a collab with Distortions Unlimited, which is an amazing Halloween animatronic and prop company. They've been in business for over 40 years and they make amazing things. Here's one of them. Like I said, this is Count Orlok. He's 6'3". You don't normally see Halloween props this big. I'm 6'5", so you can see like we're almost at eye level with each other, which is really cool. And he is just amazing quality. Like his costume is super premium. He's got this nice like crushed velvet, nice little button details, and then his head is like foam that's been coated, I think, in like latex or some kind of rubber. Then his hands are also rubber. And really, they just went all out with this guy. The quality is absolutely amazing, and he goes together in like 3 pieces. He is a metal base, legs, and a torso. He's really creepy. If you can't tell, it's pretty self-explanatory, and I think he would make an amazing addition to your Halloween decorations this year. He's actually, I think, their most popular prop, I believe they said last year, so he's back for another one. I've actually known about Distortions Unlimited for a very long time, so when they reached out, I really couldn't believe it. This was kind of like a little dream collab, and I'm really excited to be working with them. So thank you so much to Distortions Unlimited, of course, for sending me this amazing prop and letting me share him with all of you as I sculpt him today. Now, without further ado, with all that said, if you want to see me sculpt this guy at a much smaller scale, then hit like, hit subscribe, follow me on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter if you want more content from me outside of YouTube. I'm also in my Facebook group, Snakes of Clay. Now let's get started. Now I'm gonna go move him over there so you don't have to look at him the whole time. Let's go, Count Orlok. And he's not super heavy either. All right, we are ready to go. I have drilled the holes into my wooden plaque here, the size of my armature wire that I'll be using. I believe this is like 6-gauge aluminum wire. I love it. It's super strong, very bendy, and does exactly what I want it to. So I'm gonna go ahead and insert that into the first hole here, and we're gonna start shaping out Count Orlok's legs and torso. And then we're gonna figure out how tall I want him to be. I don't want him to be like super tall, but I don't want him to be too short either. And he's kind of hunchbacked, so I kind of want to take that into account too. That's a little better, and we've accommodated for his little hunchback. Yeah, that's good. He's over there, so I'm gonna be looking over there a lot. Just to let you know, I haven't completely lost my mind yet. He doesn't really have that much of a waist, so we're not gonna give him one. Armature is like my least favorite part of sculpting. I wish I could just hire someone to do the armature for me so that I could just go straight to sculpting. Like, I hate making armature, and what sucks is that it's like the most important part of the sculpture. If you don't do the armature correctly because you rushed or whatever, that's not gonna be a sound sculpture, and it's probably gonna break in the oven or somewhere else if it doesn't break in the oven. So I got my aluminum foil here. I'm going to bulk out his torso. Okay, but before I do that, I need to put some arms on him. So let's do that now. All right, now I'm going to bulk out the torso with some aluminum foil. And I won't be using ultralight again today because I'm actually out of it. So I'm just gonna use aluminum foil and do it the old-fashioned way, just like last week's video. You know what, should we bring him down? Should I make him like the mascot for my channel? Is that stupid? That's stupid. Anyway, all right, back to NOSFERATU. He's so short. I mean, it's not gonna be that short because I'm gonna add his head too, and the head's gonna come up to like here. But he is gonna be shorter than me, which is fine, I think. I think this is a good size. I'm not worried about it. So the next step is to cover this entire thing in some polymer clay. The polymer clay that I'm using today is Super Sculpey Original, and I'm going to roll it through my pasta maker on the thickest setting. So I've got my even sheet here, and I'm gonna start covering all of this section at a time. Oh, and while I'm doing this, let me tell you about a fun little interview I did this week. It was with Polymer Week, which is a premier polymer clay magazine and website. If you go to polymerweeksociety.com, you can become a member and check out a bunch of really cool features, including my little interview. I will put all the links for that in the description box below if you want to check it out. And then one thing to keep in mind when you're adding your clay to your armature is make sure that you're working out any air bubbles as you add it, because if you don't, you're going to have little air bubbles, and those can either crack or they can bulge out in the oven when you're baking this, so just be careful of that. Now I'm going to do the pant legs. Oh, and back to the Count Orlok Halloween prop that's over there. I think he's actually wearing a real pair of pants. So now I'm going to add the shoes and the feet before we start adding some folds and whatnot to the pant legs. Alright, and then I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to press in this piece here so that it looks like the bottom of the shoe. Very nice. Okay, so we've got that. Now I'm going to go ahead and we're going to cap off those pant legs with a snake of clay, of course. I'm going to roll this through a clean part of my pasta maker so that it's nice and flat. I'm just going to wrap this around the bottom, like that. It's almost like magic. We've got a pant leg. Going to blend the top edge in with the rest of the leg. Now let's do that again on the other side. This is why I love Super Sculpey so much. It just blends so easily. Look at that, like, oh. Right, there we go. He's got his pants on, and now I'm going to go ahead and create just a couple folds and wrinkles at the bottom of his legs just to give him a little more detail down there. You're not going to see very much of his legs because his coat is going to come down to like right here. This little like zigzag thing like that, and then blend that in. It's nice looking at the actual prop in person versus like a Google image. I must say, sculpting from life. It's a good time. There we go. I think those pant legs look pretty good. Now let's start the coat. And this is gonna be tricky because I just need like flat sheets of clay, and my pasta maker is dirty, like I keep saying. So we might have to do it in like little pieces, but that's okay. We're gonna do like a whole robe thing. So what I'm gonna do here is start cutting out the coat. He's got a seam in the middle, but you know what? We've got to add that neck. Got to put the neck on before I start the clothes, because the clothes are gonna go around the neck, right? And if there's no neck, what are they gonna go around? This clay is so fresh. How's that? All right, it's starting to come together now. Do you see it? So, clothes always throw me off at first. I don't know why. It always ends up being fine, but I always get so confused. Like, why do I get confused? Okay, so this jacket's gonna come down to like right here, and then we're gonna kind of like ruffle it because he's got like a pleat in it. So it's gonna come up to here. It's gonna mark that. Trim this. We're actually gonna do the other side first. And then make a little slit here for the arm, like that. But here I need to add a little pleat. So to do the little pleat, I don't know how I'm gonna do it. Just stick this in it. This we'll use for the pleat. So I just want to sort of mark where it's going to go, and this will go up to like right here. So the pleat's going to go like that. Press this into this and then cross my fingers and hope that this works. And it worked! Look at that! Look at that nice little pleat. It's going to be capped off by a tiny little button. A lot of you said you liked my accents in my last video. Don't worry, I'm not gonna do them again. I'm honestly surprised I left that in there. Alrighty, Aphrodite. Okay, one. Now let's do that again for the other side and hope it goes as easily as this did. Now here, this is supposed to be right down the center, so I need to adjust this now too, because then it's not going to be straight. So we're going to just cut that edge off. And honestly, when you're making clothes like this, you just gotta make it work. There's not going to be a right answer most of the time. You just gotta create the illusion that it is clothing that is fitting correctly. I don't know anything about sewing or how clothes are made, so I'm just making it look like I do. He's gonna have that nice like high collar up here, and he's gonna have the frilly things there, and he's gonna look good. And he's gonna be really easy to paint because he's all black. Right now it's time to pay some attention to that back that we've been neglecting. So far so good. The last couple sculptures I've made have been pretty smooth. Surprisingly, the self-portrait one, the Tim Burton, me as the Tim Burton character, that one was a lot smoother than I thought it was going to be. Because I just always thought sculpting myself was gonna be like super hard. And that's good enough for now, and we will hit that with the clay softener in a minute. And I'm gently pulling on the bottom just to give it a little more character. So it's not just like a sheet of clay. You know, I'm just kind of working it into the fancy shape that I want. And then these seams go all the way up. Does he have buttons underneath that, or did they stop? So it's like the last set of buttons is like where his nipples would be. Ooh, look at how much better that looks. Let's do that again over here. So, okay, now the next step, and these little like, that's too thick. So we're going to make them smaller by pressing them together. And then I don't think I'm gonna do buttons yet because I'm gonna be doing the arms and I'm gonna be touching all up in here, so I don't want to smash the buttons. So I think now let's start the arms. And then once the arms are on, then we can do that fun little cape and the collar and the buttons. And then we'll do the head tomorrow. Look at it. Do you like it? I think it's coming out pretty good. Is it even in focus? No. Yeah, so what do you think? You like it? And then tomorrow I might have some more fun ideas for what to do. Some other things like the jacket or whatever. Like maybe tomorrow I'll look at this and be like, wow, this is really boring looking. How can I make it more exciting? And maybe I'll have an idea that I don't have right now, but I think it looks fine. Like it's not It's a very simple outfit. Because I'm not basing this off the movie one if the movie one looks any different. This is strictly gonna be based off my friends at Distortions Unlimited's design. Okay, so time for elbows. Should I bring him back in the frame? Should I set him next to me and should he just like sit and watch? I had him set up the first day that he came. I had him set up in my living room and I would forget that he was there every single time I walked by and it would freak me out. I'm excited to make those hands, but I might save them for tomorrow or later today. One trick here, random trick, if you're having trouble with like air bubbles or something like that, just poke a hole randomly in the sculpture somewhere like inconspicuous, and if there is air trapped inside, it will find that hole and it will escape. That's a trick that I like to do when I'm feeling unsure about whether or not I've left air trapped in my sculptures. I think before I call it a night, I'm going to do the little cape because I'm dying to do that. That's really gonna set it off. And I'm not gonna I'll do the collar after I make his head. These are going to be ruffled. This is rounded here too, so I want to do that before I stick it on. Not bad, okay. So tomorrow I will come back, we're gonna do the hands, we'll do the head, and then some buttons. I'll save the buttons for tomorrow too, because those should probably go on last. All right, I think I'm in a good spot, and I'll see you tomorrow. And we're back for day 2 of sculpting NOSFERATU or Count Orlok, and I'm pleased with what I see. Can't complain. I think it looks pretty good. I think we're ready to keep going. So I think the next step I want to do is probably the hands, or I'll do the head first. We'll do the head first and then we'll do the hands. It's got a pretty basic head shape. Those ears are gonna be fun. Like for real fun, I'm not being sarcastic. Now I'm going to cover this in clay and then we're going to pierce it and stick it on, make sure that it's in the right position. Now before I shape the face out too much, I want to get that skewer in there so that I don't smash everything after I already do it. So let's do that now. And okay, now for the eye sockets. Start with a big indent. Just the general eye area. Smaller ball stylus to press in the eyes. 1 and 2. That one's too big. That works? Okay. Just gonna take this little tiny butter knife tool. I'm going to press out the eyes. Got these big bags under his eyes, so we're going to go ahead and add some of those. And I could look at him or I could look at myself in the mirror when I wake up. And I guess now, since I'm copying this from something that's sitting right there, I just want to get like a general idea for where things are. I'm just gonna make some random indents here that might not look like they make sense at first. Maybe they don't, maybe they'll never make sense, but it's making me feel better. It just kind of falls in to his face a little bit, like that. And then he's got a little bit of cheekbones right here. He's a little gaunt, but not super gaunt. Now for his mouth, we're just gonna push it in with our spoon tool here. I thought he only had 2 front teeth, but apparently he's got 4. Got a little bit more of a chin than I gave him, so let's be fair. This sculpt, like without paint, kind of reminds me of an orc from Lord of the Rings. Doesn't it kind of give you orc vibes? I don't know. Okay, now for those fun ears. I love sculpting ears now. There we go, ear 1. That's time to make ear number 2. That's gonna be 10 times harder, because it always is. Okay, now I'm going to attach the head with some bacon bond, if I can find my bacon bond. Look at him. Oh, I like him. Okay, I think what I wanna do now, before I do the hands, is his outfit is looking pretty like plain and cartoony, so I just want to add like a couple more like wrinkles, maybe some snakes of clay to just add some more detail to it, because I feel like his face is more detailed than his body now. They don't like match, so let's add a couple more wrinkles to the body without destroying everything that we already made. And then I'm gonna, you know what, I should probably blend. Yeah, let's before I jump to something else, let's connect the neck to the head. How about that? Very nice. And I think for the wrinkles, I'm not gonna do snakes. I think I wanna just press them in like the arms, because I don't wanna add any more bulk. Let's put the buttons on. I'm gonna sort of brush it on, so I don't have to sit there and like put bacon bond on the back of every button. This is way more efficient. Then I'm doing this because when I paint this, I don't want buttons to be popping off. I don't want to have to stop what I'm doing to have to go and super glue the buttons back on. So to make all of these buttons the same size, you probably think you need to go and just grab some clay and, you know, create a bunch of little balls like that, and then just hope that they're all the same size, or like mess with them until they're the size that they need to be. And it's like, no, that's gonna take way too long. It's got like 40 buttons. So what I'm gonna do is I'm going to roll out a nice even snake of clay like this. Try to get it as even as possible. And then I'm going to take my blade and I'm going to cut off the end because it's always messed up. I'm gonna cut little even chunks of the snake off that are all the same size. And then when I have them, I'm just gonna ball all these up, and all the little balls I make are going to be the exact same size. It's so much easier than trying to eyeball it for each one. Like, do you see how consistent these are? Way easier. So that's our little tip of the day. Let's go ahead and make some more. All right, now for the hands, which will be fun because I like making hands with long creepy fingers and fingernails. We're gonna do these, and I'm going to make these out of Cos clay because I don't wanna have to put armature in them. I'm using Cos clay soft. It's got really big hands. This clay is really soft. This is even like softer than Super Sculpey original. And then for those of you that are wondering, you can use all Sculpey accessory products with Cos clay. So you can use Bacon Bond with it, you can use TLC with it, you can use anything, clay softener. Okay, I don't like this hand at all. I'm going to go get some of my firmer Cos clay because this is really, really soft. All right, this is much better. There we go. We got both hands. Now for the final touches, which will be the cuffs and his high collar. So let's do the cuffs first. I don't need to make these out of Cos clay, so I'm not going to. And then the cuffs are pretty straightforward. Yeah, they're just like this like arch shape with a couple of buttons. Before I do that, let's cut out another one. Now I want to push down those edges there so it's not so blunt. Now for his collar. I think the collar I'm gonna make out of Cos clay just so it's easier to paint. And I can't forget his little eyebrows. Don't let me forget them. Stretch it out a little bit. Not too much. I don't want it to be too thin and then collapse in the oven or something. It's pretty cute. How about that? Look at that. Okay. Make sure that this isn't gonna like fly off when I'm painting it. So let's just blend that a little better. How's that? Do you like it? I think it looks pretty good. Can't complain. Oh, his eyebrows. You forgot to remind me about his eyebrows. How's that for you? Now we're gonna brush the entire surface with clay softener to remove fingerprints and get him ready to be baked, and then we can paint. All right, I'm ready to bake this guy. I'm going to bake him on my glass Pyrex cookie sheet thing, and I'm gonna bake him at 275 degrees Fahrenheit for about 40 minutes. So I will see you when he's done. And we're back. Count Orlok is baked. He is nice and hard. Our cosplay is nice and flexible, and we're ready to start painting. All the paints that I'm using are Folk Art brand matte acrylics, with the exception of this one. This is Lumiere by Jacquard. It is a nice old brass shade metallic. We're going to use this for the buttons. All right, let's get started. I'm going to start the face and the hands first. Again, I always like starting with the skin color. So now I'm going to darken my skin color a little bit more. We're gonna do some dark circles around the eyes. Brush off the excess. All right, now I'm gonna go in with my fine paintbrush. Darken that gray a little bit more, maybe not that much. All those nice fine lines and wrinkles. I'm gonna go in with a little bit of purple, but I'm gonna make the purple with some dolphin blue and that cameo blush color, because I want a nice pastel-y dead purple. But definitely doesn't look purple, so we need to go get some purple paint. Look at that, purple. So, whoa, why do these all need to be shaken? Now his eyes are like this ugly yellow color, so we got that right here. Alright, now that he's all black, I'm going to start painting the buttons Oh, you know what? Let's do his fingernails first, and then we'll do the buttons. All right, now for the buttons. You know what? Before we do the buttons, I just want to run my brush over everything really quick and just give it a nice gray dry brushing, just to bring out those details, make it not so flat. All right, now for the buttons, the last step, the buttons. All right. Those really finished him off, didn't they? All right, you know what? For the last step, let's put some glaze on his eyes and his teeth, just like our life-size one has. And he's done! Mini NOSFERATU Count Orlok is complete. Let me know what you think of him in the comments. Of course, let me know what you think of him. This was a very fun project. Thank you so much to Distortions Unlimited for the amazing Halloween prop. Be sure to check them out. All of the links for them to their website, their social media, everything is in the description box below. They make exceptional products, and I can tell you right now, they are 100% Ace of Clay approved. As always, thank you so much for watching and being here. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe, and then follow me on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter at Ace of Clay. I'm on TikTok as at Ace of Clay Official, and then I'm in my Facebook group, Snakes of Clay, so check that out too. See you next time.